My future bleak with emotions I'm renouncing. They say I got what it takes. Learning from my mistakes. Through decisions I made. Swear I'm hungry for cake. My heart black and my mind gone and my soul cries, but I don't. I start spans to get too blow to get so high. Switch time.
Was happening, what it do? You're back after a short hiatus, for Family Affair Sports Talk. So,
Y'all not sharing no video?
You just came on.
so we got a couple things we could jump into, man. We got some trade rumors for the Houston Rockets. I guess we can go and knock out before we jump on football for the week. Any opinions? Any hot takes?
Well, all I saw was something about to the Nets, but the Nets ain't pulling nothing out, so I don't think Houston gonna trade them, man. I think that's just all talk right now. So because I don't think you can. There's nothing out there. I don't think you can get value for it. You know what I'm saying? You'll end up unless you get another team involved. You do something real creative, but I just don't see no way that y'all can do something to get the value back of giving up an MVP. That won the MVP, and then also being second or third or whatever, in multiple years. So I just don't see how y'all can make that trade happen, but it's fun to talk about.
What about the Westbrook?
Westbrook, he might be able to do something, you know what I'm saying, just because his value maybe went down just a little bit just because of the playoffs. But, you can probably do something with that. But,
Dre?
The hard one, that's like Deron said, that's just smoke. Something to talk about. Westbrook, I can see some grabbing some picks, grabbing some, nice little role players here and there. Really, I like it just because it opens up cap space. You can go sign a Serge Ibaka or Tristan Thompson, add them to the squad, get you some draft picks, and build something solid around Harden. I don't see the Rockets trading Harden until the trade deadline of 2022, when he's almost going to be a free agent, be 34 years of age, past his prime. You can flip him for some picks or something like that. By then, Daryl Morey did what he did with Philly, and chances are Brooklyn Nets with KD and all of them, they passed their time. So I see the Rockets holding on to him for another year and a half. And Westbrook, just trade for some good role players and picks, and open some cap space. Start building and get ready for the future.
Well, yeah. So I actually like the fact that Westbrook is demanding a trade, saying that he wants out. The interesting team to me is not really the Knicks. The interesting team for me is the Clippers, and not because of Paul George. I wouldn't want Paul George. I would want, some of the role players to fill out the roster in Houston. I'd love for them to get Zubac and get Shamet and to get Lou Williams, and we ship off Russ. I don't want no trade that ships off Robert Covington with Russ or draft picks. So if they could do that, then to me that's a big bonus for Houston. Anything that has to do with James Harden being traded out of Houston is a no-go. And if the Rockets got rid of Houston, like I'm
Harden.
out. Yeah, Harden. If they got rid of Harden, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be a wrap for me. So I guess we can go ahead and transition to the football, man. I didn't get in no picks this week. By the time I woke up, games had already started. I ain't do nothing with fantasy football or real football. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how that thing, gonna shake out. But we can go on ahead and get to this week. Let me pull up this
Why I do the current record, you know what I'm saying, why he pulls that up is
yeah.
right now I'm still in first place with 91 wins, 36 losses. Drayden pulled into second place with 87 wins and 39 losses. And since went down to third to 85 wins and 41 losses. And Tony then got over 500. Well, he was one game over 500, but now he's multiple games at 29 and 26. It's not counting this week. I don't know how I'm gonna put it in.
So you gave me losses this week instead of just not picking?
No, I ain't even count this week. This week ain't
Okay,
this all
okay.
from last week. This last week's.
Okay.
I ain't even we ain't even done with this week. I usually do the picks on Monday, but since this is really like a Sunday show. Me and Dre went 11-3. You and Tony went 8-6 last week.
All right. So I guess maybe by the time this is over, I'm sure at the end that Baltimore New England game will be over. So let's start off with Houston Cleveland.
Yeah, I ain't get to see much of that game. 10-7. I would have thought it was going to be, if we would have talked about that game, I would have thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. For them to come out like that. Baker Mayfield, 132 yards passing, but Nick Chubb, 126 yards rushing. Kareem Hunt, 104 yards rushing. But I guess they just couldn't get in the end zone. But I think I picked the Texans. So I picked the Browns. But yeah. Surprised at how the game turned out to be though.
Nah, you picked the Texans, man.
I did.
Yeah.
Dang.
But it was arranged similar to what you're seeing right here on New England, Baltimore. That same storm hit Cleveland, so it was a lot of wind, a lot of rain. We had a rain delay to start the game, so that killed most of the passing game. Chubb didn't really, do nothing to the second half. We had one last run to put him over 100 yards at the end of the game to run out the clock. But defensively, we actually did pretty good most of the game. We kept them in check on their run game. The times Baker passed, he did pretty decent, but nothing, bend don't break. The coaches lost this game for us. We was fourth and goal on a 2-yard line. Instead of kicking the field goal to tie the game, he decided to run the ball with Watson. Myles Garrett stopped him. Should have kicked the field goal. You know what I'm saying? Tie the game. Then we drive down the field again. This time we were 30. It's 4th and 2 once again. This time he wants to kick the field goal. And this time, field goal, we miss it. So, that's 6 points, we left off the scoreboard, it's just one of them ugly games, man. Offensively, Watson did his thing when the game's on the line. It's just he didn't get the ball again in the fourth quarter. And, hearing the post-game interviews, that was Cleveland knew it. They didn't want to give Watson that ball again with any time on the clock. They ran the clock out. Chubb had a nasty little 40-some yard run to end the game. And, it's a tough one, but it is what it is at this point. I just want to see Watson continue to grow, continue to get, chemistry with the wide receivers, see what these young players are going to do. That's all I care about at this particular point.
Bruh.
Well, it's a defensive game for the most part. Texas having a hard time stopping the run. I looked at a couple of highlights and, they missed tackles, kind of getting ran over, but that's because they got some stuff they need to take care of on that front line. Baker Mayfield's just Baker Mayfield. He ain't putting up no big numbers. He ain't nobody you can depend on week in, week out. But, seeing Chubbs came back and knowing that the Texans struggling to stop the run, much like the Cowboys had been doing up until like last week. When I saw that made me change my pick because I had Texans picked at first. And when I saw they had a 1-2 punch of Chubb and Hunt, I just knew they was going to pound the ball. I wasn't expecting Watson to be held in check like he was. But knowing that he came back and they can't stop the run, something just told me they was going to pull it out, and they managed to pull it out.
All right. Washington, Detroit.
Man, them boys jumped out on them. That I started to put a little respect on them, and then they just it's just bad plays, man. Just bad plays, turnovers. Couldn't get out their own way. But like I said, I'm trying to pick my Lions. Well, they ain't not my Lions, but I didn't adopted them because I didn't adopt them. This is just because I've been talking about them too much. So, I'm glad they pulled out that win.
I will say, we all, except for my brother, we posted our picks and on Facebook Messenger, and I changed some picks after doing some other little homework. It looked like I was following Deron, and that wasn't the case for the most part. But I will admit, I did switch to the Lions because of Deron, because after the last couple of weeks, I went against them, and I paid for it on my record. And so I was like, Deron been talking about these Lions. Let me switch. The reason why I took Washington at first is because Alex Smith was actually coming back. He was starting. And I saw a stat that said that he was undefeated against the Lions, in his career from what I read. And so that's why I picked him. But then I just had that second thought, I'm like, man, I've been going against these boys the last 2-3 weeks. Let me go ahead and pick them. Washington a bad enough team that they should be able to pull it out. If it's a time for me to pick them, today is the day. But I almost regretted that when Washington come rolling back, tied the game 27-all, man. I almost regretted making that switch, but it worked out for me.
Man, I think Matthew Stafford is the most underrated quarterback in the game. I would love for him to go to another team so bad and see what he can do in a different system with some talent. But, I knew Detroit had enough at least to beat the Washington football team. I just hate that Texas quarterback, man, is rotting up there in Detroit.
All right, Green Bay, Jacksonville.
Bro, I don't hear you giving no commentary. Just because you ain't made no picks don't mean you can't comment on the game.
Yeah, well, so far, looking at these games, I really haven't had much that I wanted to add. It's kind of like kicking a dead horse. So I'm just biding my time to get to something, that kind of piqued my interest for the week.
Okay. What's the one you just talked about? His last
Jacksonville, Green.
Oh, man, who knew Jacksonville was going to get the Packers all they could handle?
Yeah, man.
Man, they almost pulled that out, bro. I don't know. I think Green Bay went in there kind of haphazardly and just thought this was going to be a pushover game. Jacksonville ain't won but 2 games. The, third place in the division above the Texans with only because they got one more win. Huh?
They only got one win. They lost both times.
Dre, it's okay, Dre. It's okay. It's okay, Dre. It's okay. You don't want to be at the bottom. All right, I understand it. I ain't mad at you. But either way, they gave them all they can handle today. You know what I'm saying? After they took that whooping from there was the Texans they played last week, right?
Yeah.
They took that loss. They came out, with a little bit more heart, a little more passion today, man. I think they'd have played y'all today. They'd have got y'all today. They wasn't ready last week, but they was ready today. I don't know if it's the big name Aaron Rodgers coming in.
It really is only because Minshew
in their division. You know what I'm saying?
What you say?
Gardner Minshew got hurt last week versus Houston. That's the only reason why Jacksonville lost last week, and it's probably the only reason why they lost this week. Because if he would have been healthy, if he would have been healthy all the way through them games, I think Jacksonville would have won both of those games. But go ahead.
Play, man. He didn't play last week versus us. He been replaced.
Yeah, that young dude.
Yeah, but didn't he get hurt? Didn't he get hurt like in the first half, the first quarter, or something like that?
I think it was the week before that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, man, the Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Saints, and the Buccaneers. These 4 teams I cannot get a handle on. They look world beaters one week, and then look, I don't know what they are that next week. Those 4 teams, and the 3 out of the 4 got good records except for Minnesota. But, I guess, like we said on the other podcast, Dalvin Cook makes them a different team. So I guess I could take them out, but I still don't know about them. But those 4 teams and with Green Bay, man, one week they can look like they are the best team in the NFC. And I think those 3 teams that I mentioned, except maybe the Saints, but definitely the Bucs and definitely the Packers, can look like the best team in a division and then lay an egg. And it just surprised me how from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum that they show their games.
I really think Packers just was looking to the next week already. They just looked past Jacksonville to the next week. Defense came out stale. They wasn't ready to play. They wasn't expecting that much, from Jacksonville, being at the bottom of their division, only 1 win. I think they just simply looked past them boys and they gave them all they can handle. They almost made them pay for it.
Man, I'm gonna be honest though. That rookie they got, man, they drafted him in this round. He actually, he's mobile and he's a very fast quarterback, especially for a white quarterback. He ain't no slouch, No,
Last week he showed.
They don't got too much film on him, so I ain't gonna sit there and say he might be better than Minshew, but he is a nice little option they got over there.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go on to Philadelphia, New York. I'm gonna jump out on this one first. The New York Giants is the best team in the NFC. Hands down, period, point blank, man. Danny Dimes is over there doing his thing, and their offensive coordinator got them looking pretty damn impressive. If I must say so myself, man, the Giants offense been looking impressive. Danny Dimes is over there dropping dimes and running over people and through people and around people. I mean, hey, the New York Football Giants, they are the toast of the Eastern Conference of the East, the NFC East, and I'm saying right now that they are going to win the NFC East and they are going to the playoffs. Period.
I see you, Stephen A. Replicated. I'm not going to debate you on that at this moment, only because I need to see who we end up with quarterback. That's what I need to see. But I agree. That's why I picked the Giants. I don't know if you'd have picked the Giants this week, my bro, or not, but that's why I picked the Giants, because they've been playing some really tough, tight games. And last week, I don't remember who they played, but they gave them a hard time. The Eagles.
They beat Washington last week?
Mhm.
Was it? I couldn't remember, but I know they've been looking better and better each and every week. And Philadelphia is very inconsistent. Carson Wentz is very overrated. I have no faith in him whatsoever. I have no faith in the Eagles right now. They just cannot put it together, man. They are up and down, just like Deron was saying about someone else a minute ago. They so up and down and inconsistent, man. I see Jalen Hurts starting for Philadelphia in about another 2-3 weeks, maybe. I figure they go ahead and let him play, see exactly what he can do, and make it a quarterback competition next year, or try to trade away Carson Wentz, because I mean he ain't looking like the first round pick that he was when they got him, what they thought he was going to be.
Yeah,
So, but
not just a
Jason Garrett, to give him something. Hold on, real quick, Duran, my bad. Jason Garrett has got them together, and he's always been a good offensive coordinator. He was just not that good as a coach. He can only get you so far. He's a 500 coach, but as a coordinator, his offense has always been top 5 to top 8 since he's been in the league as an offense coordinator or as a head coach. So I'm not that surprised that they're starting to actually get it together, man. But if Andy Dalton come back and he don't look no better than he did that little game and a half he played, then yeah, Giants definitely running away with it. But if he can do something, or we get that dude Garrett that played last week and continue to play like that and build off of what he did, then I think it's a toss up. It's all about which defense gonna actually step up.
Well, first, I was wondering why Ant was going off about the Giants being the best team. He just wanted to say that because of Jason Garrett. This team.
Of course.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, why is he on them like that? I was trying to figure out what made our division is so bad that really ain't nobody running away with it, and it's gonna be a close race all the way to the end. And it will be sad that whoever wins the division could win 6 to 7 games. We will beat each other up. One week, the Giants will look like the best. Next week, the Eagles will look like the best. And the Cowboys and Washington are going to win a couple of them out of there. The reason that since our division is so bad and the Eagles got a chance to win the division, that's the only reason I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to get thrown in there. If they just somehow implode and they get out of the playoff race, which would be hard in this division, I can see that scenario going on where they try to see, hey, we out of the playoff race. That's the only thing I think that's going to save Wentz's starting job. But the Giants, they got a solid. This is what they do. What Garrett does, he plays a game plan so you don't lose. He's good with an average team because an average team will stay into all their games and play not to lose. It's just when you have a team that can win, you need to kind of let them go and do their things. And it's hard for him to do that. So as a coordinator, he can stay in his lane and do, hey, we're not going to lose, because as long as Danny Dimes stays away from turnovers, they will be in games. They just don't have the talent to exceed themselves to be and run away with it like Antoine is talking about. But
I never said they were gonna run away with it. I said that they're gonna win that division. That's right.
Yeah,
hands
down. They gonna win. That means they gonna take it. Yeah.
But that's not running away with it. That's just I'm giving my prediction right now. They are winning the NFC East. Period.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it ain't gonna be like that. It's gonna come down to the end. They could, but anybody could in this division. It's that bad.
Yeah, for y'all. Go ahead, Trey.
Well, no, I mean, I gotta agree with. That's why I say I agree with Deron. Well, I didn't say that, but that's why I say it depends on who we have as quarterback, because they right now, in my opinion, have the worst offense out of the teams in the division. They just right now are playing a little bit more consistent, especially at quarterback, than everybody else in the division. Although I can see Alex Smith starting to put some games together for Washington, who has actually pretty good defense, probably has the best defense in the division, in my opinion. If he can get them rolling, get them on a winning streak, again, it's a toss-up. Right now, the Giants just playing the most consistent right now on both sides of the ball. Philly got a decent defense, but they falter. They offense is too up and down because Carson Wentz, like I said, all we need is somebody to control, to lead this team at quarterback and put some points on the board. Because the last 2 weeks, the defense has actually stepped up for Dallas, big time. Especially you look at that game last week against Pittsburgh. We can build off that game right there defensively, and have a general at quarterback that's gonna come in and control the game like Garrett did. The rest of our games is very winnable, except for maybe what I think we play Packers, but shoot after the day, heck, even that's possible right now. Almost got beat by Jacksonville.
Well, while we on the subject, I pose a quick question to both of y'all, both teams. I mean, do y'all want to go to the playoffs this year with the situation of y'all team, or you know, Justin Fields, man? I know Deron, you probably pay attention to college a lot. You know, Trevor Lawrence kind of look like Burrow. You know, those pocket quarterbacks that got nice arms and very accurate. But Justin Fields, not only is an accurate quarterback, but he got that mobility, man. He got that Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray in him. Would y'all, and I know Deron, I know your answer might be rather lose out and be in the running for Justin Fields and re-sign Dak franchise and trade him for draft cap, and open up flexibility under your cap to add some more pieces to your squad, and you have Justin Fields, who's probably better than Dak, especially coming out of college, a little bit mobile, 5 years on a rookie deal, and y'all have the cap flexibility with Cooper and Elliott already signed for a long term.
Can I go first right quick, Deron?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yes, I would not have a problem losing more games to get an early draft pick. But no, I don't want Dak traded. I don't want to take Lawrence or Justin Fields in the first round. I want a left tackle, and then we can get rid of Tyron Smith. He's too injury prone. He ain't played a solid 16 games, and I don't know how long, probably since he got the $100 million contract he got. That's going to free up some money right there. Get you a number 1 draft left tackle, first round. If we can get top 5 pick, all right, you can cut Tyron Smith, and you're going to save up some money right there. What else? Heck, second round, we can go and get us a center, because right now the centers we got ain't cutting it for me. But, I mean, if we kept Joe Looney, that's fine. We need another left guard, because Connor Williams has been trashed since he got in there. He got to go. We just need our right tackle to come back. We got Martin at right guard. We good there. Center, okay, I'm due the rookie that came in and Joe Looney. Actually, I think they've been fairly good. We need a left guard and a left tackle. That's where our capital need to go first 2 rounds. You got to sign Dak, give this man his money, because he knows the system with Kellen Moore. He's thrived in the system. He's gotten better every single year. We are not in a position of restarting. Some quarterbacks can come in this league and take off and do very well. Some don't. Joe Burrow, probably one of the best quarterbacks to come out. He's probably the best quarterback came out the draft, in my opinion. And he's better than a lot of the quarterbacks that's come out in the last couple of years. But right now, with the team he's on and having to learn, the dude they're not doing that well. You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't want to take that chance. Keep my quarterback, whole team love him, pay him his money. Give me a left tackle and a left guard, and maybe a defensive tackle or something. No, I don't need a tackle. I need a safety.
Well, let me go
That's
ahead.
that's my thought.
Yeah. So, I know this ain't the draft show, and we're gonna have one. But since he talked about the draft, he's right. I would try to get the best left tackle in the game. I wouldn't cut Tyrone, because even though he signed to big money, it's not big money with what he's getting paid compared to all the guys he is. Slide him to left guard. He's big enough to do that, and then you got your line situation taken care of. Then second round you go safety, but the writing's on the wall. Dak been earning his money based off his injury, so you got to pay the man. If someone you got to pay the man, he ain't going nowhere. If someone does fall to you, Dre, and you're right, there's 3 quarterbacks out there that's worthy of it. well, actually, maybe 4 if you really look at it. Like I said, this ain't a draft. I mean, we'll go in deeper later. But Lawrence, that dude from South Dakota, I can't remember his name, Fields, and that dude from Florida, that's kind of coming up. But you don't bet on that. You don't bet on that because you just don't know. So you got to sign Reed that, but you're right. Lose with all costs. Get the best draft pick you can get, because I only think in the second round you can still get a top-notch safety, and with a top pick you can get the best offensive lineman in the draft, and that's what we need.
49ers, that's same with y'all. What y'all doing?
You too. You too.
Relax. First of all, I do want to say,
with draft picks though.
I do want to say, y'all sitting up talking about pay Dak his money. No, too little, too late. You had your
It ain't never late.
You had your opportunity. All you can do now, you can franchise tag him for another year if you want to. But all that other stuff, nah, man. You know what y'all did? Did you know what your ownership did? It's like the female who got a man, don't appreciate him. Then you want to flaunt another man in his face, which was Andy Dalton. Want to flaunt another man in his face, you know what I'm saying? And then find out that man is a bum. And now you want to come back and say, okay, baby, I'll start cooking. I'll wash your clothes, baby. I won't go out clubbing so much. No, Sean. No. I done already put down on me another place. I done already paid off all my credit. I'm out.
He ain't done that. He ain't done that though.
As soon as this season's up, we going our separate ways. As soon as
he ain't done that though.
Now you can go in the office. You can go into the office and you can sign for another 6 months behind my back that I'm locked into. But guess what? You only got one more time that you can do that. And after that, I'm out. So
don't worry about it. He getting his money.
What y'all want to do? You want to take a quarterback in the first round? Take him. You don't want to take a quarterback in the first round? Don't. But I'm out. I'm gone.
He ain't out. He ain't gone. He went and bought him a 10-gallon cowboy hat. Said that he's gonna be a Cowboys forever. Not forever, but he said he planned to be here, and he bet on himself.
As long as he franchise tag, he do plan to be there.
Right. He bet on himself.
Okay.
So he gonna get his money now though.
It happened that this probably was the best thing for his contract because it was really gonna show his worth. Right. So to me, I know his agent is probably smiling because when we come back and sit down at that table, it went up. The price went up.
Did it?
Stop it. All right, stop.
I wouldn't. It might not be but it is 45.
Let me say this.
It won't be 45. It won't be 45. I think it'll be less than 45, maybe right at 40 to 42.
Nah.
Because you didn't finish, 40. But I don't think it'll be 45.
40. It'll be around 40. But
45, 47.
And I know y'all wishing that y'all saying for
But
I say that to use Antoine's analogy. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys is a pretty organization. We are that. We might not have a good attitude, but we are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And that's why.
To your mammy.
We do. You know what I'm saying? So. We dress down to, we Gucci down to the socks, you know what I'm saying? We high class, and that's why he gonna pick it. Now, if it was any other organization, you can't be, have a bad attitude and not be pretty, So, you're right. We made a mistake. We got a little about ourselves, but we still the Dallas Cowboys, and we dropped dead. I know you don't like it. But we still drop dead gorgeous, and everybody want to be. You want to be a Cowboy. So that's what wins out the day. Is going to give him extra money, give him clout, give him endorsements and everything. So he gonna look at the big picture, and take that 40 mil plus everything else he gonna get on top of that.
No,
Tampa-
man. I don't
Tampa-
know. Go ahead,
Tampa
Antoine.
Bay, Carolina, man. Tampa Bay, Carolina. I'm tired of talking about it.
No,
Yeah.
let Drake
Man,
get his in right quick. Let Drake get his in.
I was just gonna say, man,
the
you know,
Cowboy fans are delusional on this channel. Ain't no need.
I'm not
You know-
delusional,
Go ahead,
bro.
Drake. Go ahead, Drake. Go ahead, and close
I
it,
was
man.
just gonna say, man, you know, the Jets is in New York. They got a nice, shiny stadium, and that is New York City.
That's ugly.
The Chargers in LA, they got the nice stadium, and that's
They got
LA
the
with
young boy.
all the
Chargers got
commercials.
Herbert.
And hey, you know, I know Antoine ain't going to hear this, but 49ers is a storied franchise, and that is in
They got guap. They got guap.
California. You know, he go over there with Shanahan, and you know, with that defense, that could do some things.
Yeah, he
You know,
might go. He might
this-
go on a date. He might go on a date.
But all I'm
Mike-
saying, is there's some women with some nice little, you know,
Nah,
features.
ain't nice. He might go on a
Jimmy has
date.
showed
He
Hey,
might
Jimmy
go on a
has
date.
showed
Hold
his
on,
value,
Tony.
too.
Let me say it. He might go on a date to make us give out, and you know we will. But that's about it. That's about it. He gonna come home, and you know we're gonna apologize for all the bad deeds that we made.
Chicago Bears.
So that mean that y'all not gonna tag him. Y'all gonna allow him to become an unrestricted free agent.
No,
That's
they're
the
gonna
only
give
way-
him a contract,
he
bro.
can go out on a date.
He
No,
He getting a
you
contract,
you're
bro.
right. You're right. No, well, he's right because Dak is gonna play hard to get, and gonna make the franchise one more year for that number to even go up that next year because everybody's gonna get signed again.
Jerry ain't going
and
for
then,
it.
you
Jerry
know-
ain't going for it.
Yeah,
Jerry
hey,
ain't going for it, bro. Jerry, see
Well,
what happened already? Jerry ain't going for it. Jerry about to pay
he want
him.
to ask for the keys, the car, and the security codes. He
And
wanted
Jerry about
all.
to give it.
Yeah, he
And
gonna
Jerry
win it
about to
all,
give
no
it.
doubt.
Okay.
doubt.
Too much time on the punk ass Cowboy, man. Tampa Bay, Carolina.
That's what we expected, man. That's what we expected.
Yeah, can we?
What's
Can
that
we
to
just,
even talk about, really?
Yeah,
Right.
well, let me just say this: they let that team jump out on them, and then they finally put it on. It's a tell of their season that sometimes they just don't show up, and then next thing you know, they put the gas on you. You know, so it's I don't know about this team, man. I'm really trying to figure out Tampa Bay and what they really are.
all right, Denver, Las Vegas.
What we
Yeah,
expect.
everybody picked the Raiders, so I mean, ain't a lot
Yeah.
to talk about. Denver
All right.
had been looking pretty decent, for a little bit, especially defensively. Today, John Gruden just got the Raiders, man. He got them primed, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ready to take on pretty much anybody sitting with a 6-3 record. They up there with pretty much everybody except for maybe the Steelers, who's 9-0 now. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah,
The Chargers and the Dolphins.
Man, the Dolphins,
Uh,
man, they
that defense.
they impressing me, man. I was just about to say that defense is either trying to score, and Tua. I'm liking what I see with that boy, man. I like
Yeah.
it's when you in the red zone, you get to see what kind of quarterback he is, and that boy throwing dimes. You know what I'm saying? So they really impressing me.
And they need to throw out that little rule about quarterbacks got to be 6'2" and above and all that. Because Murray and Tula and Drew Brees,
Wilson.
man, these quarterbacks balling, man. These quarterbacks balling.
Oh yeah.
All right, so it went final New England, Baltimore. New England won, I think, by 6.
That was
was
not
another-
what we expected.
Another rainstorm. And that's one of them hard games to play in, man.
Yeah, but you would have thought Baltimore would have had the leg up on that with the running game. Ingram came back. You got the quarterback that can run. I mean, Cam can run too, but they just got a more established running game than the Patriots do, man. And Baltimore, like I said, Lamar, he up and down, man. He up and down. If he can't start airing that ball out and making people pay with deep passes like he did last year, I'm telling you, it's gonna be rough for them, man. It's gonna be rough for them to get to these playoffs. It's gonna be rough for them if they make it into the playoffs.
The biggest disappointment for Baltimore is the defense. Like that defense has pretty much been letting them down all year long. They got some names over there. You would think that defense is gonna, be one of the upper echelon defenses, but they've been letting that team down a whole lot. Lamar Jackson had over 240 yards passing. He had a good completion percentage. I think he had 100 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? But the offensive woes I put on Greg Roman. I said this before. He can shock teams. Initially, but once teams got tape on him, he don't have a secondary pitch. But I blame they woes on the defense for the most part. All right, Buffalo, Arizona.
Man, I'm so mad at
That's
myself.
another team whose defense been letting them down this year. It's Buffalo.
Bills.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Compared
that's
to
why
they
I
have
didn't
good
pick them
games.
last week. But after the way they played last week, I was like, okay, let me rethink my thought. But like I said, Deron don't get credit for this one. I didn't change because of you. Like I stated earlier, I was listening to Dion and on his picks, and he talked about the consistency of the Bills compared to the inconsistency of the Cardinals.
I will
thought
say,
he made some good points, and I went with that. But I should have stuck with the Cardinals, my original pick, because they was playing at home, coming off a bye, and the Bills' defense has not been consistent enough. Like my brother said, they've been letting them down. So I should have stuck with my guns, man. But you got to admit, that was one heck of a catch by DeAndre Hopkins. Man, 3 people around him, and this dude jumps up and comes down with the ball with no seconds left in the game. I'm like, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Tony. You can't be upset with the pick because it came down to that, So it was a flip of a coin type of game. But
how you feel about D-Hop, H-Town?
We seen it, man. I mean, we seen it. That boy I told y'all 2 years ago, he's the best receiver in the game.
Man,
my dad said it. My dad said for the rest of this season, he a Cardinals fan. So, you can't knock it, man. It's greatness. I just hate that, we still hurt. They got traded. But what hurts the most is not only you get traded, the nigga that traded him end up getting 4 weeks later. That's what really hurt. So, he's not even here to feel it. But yeah, man. Like I was watching the post game and D-Hop said, man, I just had to dunk on them boys, man. He said, basketball terminology, this is when you dunk on somebody. He said, I had to dunk on the boys. So yeah, it was an unbelievable game. I kind of feel bad for Buffalo though, because Allen played. I actually
they outplayed Arizona, man. They outplayed Arizona. Arizona got this win. It was a lucky win. The football guard's gonna correct that at some point.
Tony mentioned about the MVP race.
Let's wait till we get to the Seahawks game.
That's
the last game.
That's the next
last game and talk about that.
You say
make that the last game.
Okay.
And let's talk about that MVP thing because I want to touch on. I want us to touch on that if you don't mind, bro.
All right. Then let's go Indianapolis, Tennessee. That was the Thursday night football game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Man, Tennessee is another defense that they ain't been great, but that's another defense been letting them down. That's another defense been letting their team down.
Yeah.
I expected Phillip Rivers to be Phillip Rivers and do a bunch of turnovers and just falter under the pressure of a decent defense and a team that can control the clock with the running game with old Big Henry. That really wasn't the case, man. That defense came out to play. Rivers was, airing the ball. I don't even think the dude had an interception. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of his better games he played all year.
Yeah. He had one of those games early in the year. I think we had 4 turnovers in one game or something like that. But it seemed like they kind of reeled him in since then. Indianapolis early in the year, remember they had the number 1 defense. And so their defense still has that capability where they solid. They still kind of holding up. It's me. I really have not been able to see too much of Indianapolis. I think I've seen a little bit more of Tennessee. And so My first mind told me to go with Tennessee. I mean, with Indianapolis, when DeRon texts us for them picks, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there, man, and I'm like, man, go with the Colts, man, go with the Colts. And it's just like I ain't seen them enough, you know, to put something, you know, I could stamp something, be like, say, this is what they gonna be able to do against Tennessee, you know. And I picked Tennessee, man, and they made me pay for it. But the Indianapolis Colts, man, very quietly is building themselves up to be ready for a playoff run.
Well, I think you've been scarred too, because you didn't pick the Colts sometimes and it's like the only time that they lost is the time that you picked them. You know what I'm saying?
What you saying? I'm the bad luck charm or something?
I don't know. I don't know. But when I saw you pick the Titans, I was kind of surprised because you talk good about the Colts. You talk about that defense, and on the picks you usually pick them. So when I saw you the last one, I said he gonna be the only one that picked the Colts. So when you didn't, I was surprised. And then when they won, I said, man, Ant should have had that game because he's been talking up this team, you know, weeks on end that, you know, hey man, like I've been talking on Detroit. It's like you got a little love for him that I was surprised you didn't pick him.
Yeah.
Hines is a nice little X factor for the Colts coming out that backfield with his speed. And then of course, you know, you still got T.Y. and they got a nice little some offensive weapons and they defense is legit. I'm still shaky on the Colts. Consistency goes back to what you were talking about. A lot of teams up and down and things of that nature. So they don't really scare me. Far as the Titans are concerned, after a couple of years, it's kind of like what you said about your old coach, Antoine Roman. Everybody in the league kind of sees every run play you have. You know, after 2 seasons, you only get so creative when it comes to the run game. And I think at this point this season, teams are starting to understand how they're going to run Henry. And they seen everything Tennessee's going to throw at you. So A.J. Brown still does his thing every once in a while, but he's inconsistent a little bit. He has up and down games, but Tennessee don't scare me either. You know, that's just me.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I thought Tennessee was going. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Your team is the worst in the division. I mean,
I'm
at this point,
not talking about going against the Texans. I'm talking about for him.
Okay. Go ahead, Tony. My bad.
Yeah, Tennessee is one of them teams. Seem like they taking a step back week after week. They've been a little inconsistent, and their defense has been a problem for them lately. You know, but who knows? Last year, them boys was able to turn around their last quarter of the season, go into the playoffs, make to the conference championship game. So I got to see what's the name? Can't think of that dude name. Stole the V, the head coach. See what he can do with that defense to turn them around. Right, well, yeah. See what he can do with that defense, man, and get them turned around. They still contenders to me. But I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
What we thought?
Yeah. I was surprised.
Not what I thought.
I was surprised. Somebody, I guess
Cincinnati.
it was you, Tony. It's a division game, and when you own somebody, it's like, you know, big brother, little brother. Even though little brother might be feeling themselves, I didn't feel no way that they could come in and beat Pittsburgh, a division foe that's been handling them for years on end. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you struggle, when you play your little brother, you're gonna dominate.
Yeah, but still, after the way the Bengals played last week and the way that Steelers almost got beat by the Cowboys last week, I just felt like Cincinnati was finally trying to put some things together and was going to give them all they could handle and possibly pull out a win. You know, it's about due for Pittsburgh to lose one because their defense has been great, don't get me wrong. They got plenty of weapons on the offense, but they haven't been looking like a 9-0 team for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. You know, they almost got beat by Philadelphia. They almost got beat by another team. I can't think of who it is right now. You know, you come close to getting beat by the Cowboys. So it was just, to me, I felt like this may be a time when Cincinnati, like you say, little brother decide, you know, hey, I'm ready for you. I got one for you today. But let's see. What's that one hand for? Was it the Texans?
No, I'm waiting for you to get done.
Oh,
Go ahead.
You know, earlier we was talking about how the Packers was looking past Jacksonville. Can we just say,
Y'all be trying to steal my thunder, man.
can we just say the Steelers was looking past the Cowboys and y'all caught them slipping?
Don't matter.
why
Don't
tough
matter.
game.
Don't.
They was
Don't
gearing
let
up
them
for
finish,
this
Tony.
divisional battle versus a decent team up on the rise. So, you know, the Steelers were preparing for the Bengals. And
Decent team on the rise. They only
quarterback.
got 2 wins.
Huh?
They only got 2 wins too. How they a decent team on the rise? They only got 2 wins, bro.
Just say what Cincinnati did the previous week.
Right. They won their second game. Yeah, I picked them.
See,
But
see,
don't try to
this
sit
is
up here and
why-
negate. Don't try to negate what my boys did, because
It's still
Ben
a
said himself that was the best pass rush he didn't face all year. Don't be trying to do that because your Texans suck and they still on at the
I
bottom.
let you go
with us.
first. You fumbled the
Your
ball.
defense is terrible.
You had a perfect time to look. This is the deal. Okay. Yes. Pittsburgh is not worried about the bums in the NFC East, and that's why y'all played them close. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
Y'all are a bunch of bums, and so they go in there to play y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, look, I got somewhere to be tonight. Can we hurry up and get through with this game so I can make my date? And you suckers came out, y'all tried to be like Rocky in the first one. You know, you put up a good fight. You know what I'm saying? But they had the Apollo Creed y'all in the final round. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. Now,
but don't act like y'all teams ain't some bums too.
Hold on.
Y'all teams some bums too. So don't be coming trying to call up my team like we're the only bums up on this doggone show. You know what I'm saying? Every team up on here that's represented is some bums.
I'm talking about the Steelers right now.
Yeah.
This was their match against Drago. You know what I'm saying?
No, come on, man. All these.
They just saying
Okay, we
good fight. And you know what I'm saying? Hold on. You know, so it's like, say, man, we can't really take these boys. And they in our division. We're going to have to put our foot on their neck and let them know, don't even come looking around here like y'all finna do something. So that explains him, you know, curb stomping Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they beat Cincinnati because Mike Tomlin and Bill Belichick, and I'm probably, you know, I can name some more that when they get a close game or lose, when they shouldn't, they finally get their ear, they players. And Mike Tomlin basically said, what I told y'all, I've been trying to tell y'all, don't stop smelling yourselves. Because, you know, Pittsburgh, you're right. Pittsburgh's smelling themselves right now. And that's all they need is a close game from the Cowboys for Mike Tomlin to get them and say, look, let's refocus or we're going to lose. And they listen to the man. So, you know, they did what they were supposed to do. Mike Tomlin got control of that team.
Okay, so we in agreement. All right. So it was a game we said, hold on, I know it's 2 more games, but what was the game we said that we was going to leave for? Seattle.
No, MVP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
let's go ahead and do the Saints and Niners.
New Orleans, San Francisco is what we all expected, right?
Yeah,
right.
So they some bums too. Yeah, that's what
Wait, somebody might want to talk about it. Somebody might want to talk about it.
Yeah, a couple games, and I said, y'all say, hey man, that's what we all expect, and we just kept it moving. You know, now I know we ain't expect nothing different with all the injuries and all of that with my team.
My goodness.
Right? This is what we expected, right?
Well, some didn't expect to be that.
You
bad.
didn't expect that. That's why you didn't pick. You didn't want to pick against your team.
No. First of all, I don't have a problem picking against my team. I pick against my team. We played Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Like it just comes a point where
change the subject, Tony. Now you get to talk about something else
due to the circumstance. So, I mean,
Jameis Winston looked good in that game, though. You know, came in there in relief for Breeze.
He only threw 13 passes, man.
Yeah, it looked better than 49ers quarterback.
He probably did. That dude is an undrafted undrafted free agent. He a third stringer.
That you said
the first round, a number 1 overall pick. He should look better than the undrafted free agent.
It was more accurate and better than the MVP.
He was better. I said he was more accurate than Cam, and he is, bro.
Man, stop it, bro.
Okay, so is we done with that? Are we finished or are we done?
Yeah, I want to talk about your defense. Why your defense slowed out?
We don't want to talk about
second and the third string quarterback. You got 2 quarterbacks coming in swapping out, and your team couldn't stop them. So I want to talk about your defense. Tell me about your defense. What's up with that?
It wasn't my defense. It was 2 muffed punts that we had that put them in bad position. I mean, for the most part, my defense was shutting down their offense pretty much all day, but they did get 2 turnovers on special teams. That's what really hurt us.
And all them 2 interceptions your quarterback threw hurt y'all.
Huh?
And 2 interceptions your quarterback threw hurt y'all too.
Yeah, he did too. But I'm talking about the short field that they got on muffed punts, and it was one of them hit on the dude's leg. Like, I don't understand why you don't catch the ball, and you call yourself at 5'8" trying to block somebody coming down on a punt recovery. And so the ball hits him on the foot. Then the next dude tries to catch the ball and straight up drops it. And so that gives them the ball inside our 30. I mean, that's what it was. My defense did a good job. They still been playing hard. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't blame my defense at all. I blame my special teams. We don't have a quarterback. Even my undrafted third string rookie running back got hurt, along with all the other running backs that's hurt. So we brought in another undrafted rookie. I mean, what y'all want me to say, man? What y'all want me to say?
I want you to say which 4 of the quarterbacks in the draft do you want?
He don't want no quarterback. He don't want no quarterback.
Shoot, I would. I'll trade Jimmy back to New England for a second rounder, and they draft one of them 4 quarterbacks, man.
So I'm gonna touch on this very quickly, and we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
I believe it's a possibility that they will try to trade Jimmy, but the reason for it is because Jimmy has shown to be injury prone. That's the problem for Jimmy. Like my GM said, when Jimmy plays, we tend to win. But if you are injured, since he's been here, as far as full season, like he came at 5 games, he played the last 5 games. The very next year, the 3 games in, he's injured for the year. He plays the full season last year. We go to the Super Bowl. He come this year, the 3rd game in, high ankle sprain, and he wasn't never right for the rest of the games. Even games that he's played and started, that ankle still wasn't right. He's injured again and probably going to be out for the season. So if you miss the better part of 2 of your 3 full seasons, like why would they continue to pay him? And then next year, even though his salary ain't a lot, but they can get out of what they owe him. They owe him $27 million for next year. If they trade him or cut him, they don't owe him nothing. There's no dead money on the cap, so that's $27 million worth of cap space that they automatically get. And if you can add some draft picks for him, I mean, it would seem like that's going to definitely be an option that's on the table for my team. Now, I'm not really going into looking at quarterbacks at this point because I don't know which route that they're going to take. But my guess is there's a good chance that they are going to possibly look to move on from Jimmy from a money standpoint, because we got a bunch of people like Fred Warner and Trent Williams, you know what I'm saying, DBs in my second. There's a lot of dudes who are going to be up for new contracts. The salary cap is going to go down next year due to the COVID. And so we already at the cap right now. So if they can get some cap space, you know what I'm saying, by getting rid of Jimmy, getting rid of Fred, D Ford, you know what I'm saying, then I believe that they will definitely look into that, especially depending on where they end up record-wise. Where if you end up in the top 5, top 7 picks, and you can gain some extra picks, either to draft where they at or to try and move up and maneuver around the draft, I can see my team entertaining it. So we ain't got to that point yet, but that's just my 2 cents. Seattle and the Rams. This is y'all MVP, so I want all the MVP people to talk to me about Super Russ, Danger Russ.
Man, you're not gonna win.
As long as we can talk about Tom Brady too, and where they will stack up in the MVP race, and we can that conversation. I believe he'll be ahead of him, but yeah, man, I was disappointed. But like y'all said, this defense is bad. It's bad, and they give up big plays in the air. Hey, I don't really got much to say, because I was that disappointed.
It was a divisional game.
It's true.
You ain't gonna win every one. Do I still think Russell's number 1 in MVP? Yes. Him, you can throw in some other people. I actually was going to throw in, I was mentioning earlier, Allen, when he threw that touchdown against Arizona. I thought, hey, that might have been the play to put him in a conversation. But then Kyler Murray did what Kyler Murray did. I actually think he in a conversation.
We talking about MVP already?
Yeah.
So, Tom Brady, when we had this last conversation, the next game,
we didn't bypass talking about the actual game that happened.
Okay, that's what threw me off.
My fault. But yeah, Tom Brady, at the last time we had this conversation, he laid a goose egg versus the Saints. So I think MVP is going to be won on those big games and those big moments, which Russell Wilson has so far this season. He played big in those moments. This is just one of those games where, gets a division rival, you just lose.
He's looked bad the last 2 weeks. This is why I said I brought up the question, why I wanted to bring up the topic. He's looked bad the last 2 weeks. Now, his defense ain't helping him out, don't get me wrong. But offensively, he ain't looked that great the last 2 weeks. And you got other people, what you named, Dre, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, even Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? That's true enough. Yeah, they overlooked Jacksonville and almost got beat. But Aaron Rodgers has been looking a little bit more consistent as an MVP candidate, in my opinion, at this point, than Russ. Tom Brady, in my opinion, is not. He's not even in the running for me. You know what I'm saying? He's had a few bad weeks, and he's a bad sport. Lose games, run off, don't want to shake nobody's hand. You know what I'm saying? You just been a little unprofessional, dude. So for me, yeah, you don't deserve MVP consideration. That's just me, though. I'm not a Tom Brady fan either, so I may be a little biased. But I give people their props. But no, Tom Brady ain't in the running. I get, Russ still in it because he did play big in some big games. But you look at who he played and who he beat. I don't think he beat a lot of winning teams in that time. He just like most other people, they hadn't played a whole lot of nobody. And when they did, these last 2 weeks, he just ain't looking good. He ain't looking good right now. So he's not number 1 candidate running away with it like he was before 2 weeks ago. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, right there, to me, they all up in the same boat. They all put together. There's no clear winner for me at this moment.
So Russ has lost, or his team, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. He's thrown 7 interceptions in those games. The only team that they have beaten in the last month is the injury-riddled, depleted mass unit of the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, of course, he had to add all that extra stuff on there. Let's start with the drama,
only
bro.
team that he's been able to muster up the ability to beat. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they just didn't have enough players to compete. Meanwhile, Tom Brady has won 4 of his last 5 games and has had 3 turnovers. And, you know, they had the stinker against New Orleans. True that, you know, but outside of that, the lowest scoring game they put up was 25. Other than that, they didn't have a 38, 45, and a 46-point game. Tom Brady on a new team, learning the new system and then all of that, you know what I'm saying, new teammates, is having a really good year so far. And so the name that I would interject into it, who I would possibly put with Brady, maybe slightly ahead of him, is Big Ben. You know, I think Patrick Mahomes is right there with him, maybe slightly behind him, you know, because I think context matters. You know, the team that you join, the players around you, system, all of that. Like, I think all of that plays a role into a player's success. And so I do have Brady ahead of Russ. You know, it's not just like, this ain't a situation where you can say, well, Russ is just balling and his defense is letting him down like all these other times. The dude is turning the ball over at a rate that we have never seen. And that's because Pete Carroll and that team decided, well, we're going to let Russ air it out. You know, we're going to believe in him. We're not going to be the team that runs the football and then let Russ throw the ball off of play action and move in the pocket and that type of thing. Well, we're going to run the ball, shorten the game, and let Russ make a couple throws. No, now they want to drop Russ back and have Russ throwing the ball 30, 35 times, and that's not what Russ does. It's never been what he's done since he's been in the NFL. He has always depended on the run game and the defense to come up with timely stops, except for when he had Legion of Boom. They just shut people down. But recently, it's been defense come up with some timely stops. Offensively, you run the football, keep the opposing defense on the field. Russ gonna make a couple timely throws, deep shots, plays like that. That's gonna get them to win. That's how last year, I think all 11 of their wins, or maybe 10 out of 11 they won, was 1-score games, where they won those games in the fourth quarter. They're not doing that this year, which is regressing to the mean, but still, like, you can't lose 3 out of 4 in a month span and have 7 interceptions. That ain't counting lost fumbles, you know, and think that you are at the top of the MVP race. Like, it's just not possible.
Well,
Right.
I still say
MVP is for most. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Deron. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I think he still is on the top. I think he came out and he was on a historic run in the very beginning. He didn't let the pack catch up to him. You know, out of those 7, you're right, all is a lot, but a little bit of half of them is in one game when he just had 3 or 4, and yeah, you know, against Buffalo. So I think Wilson is still slightly ahead. Like I said, he was on a historic run, and even if you put his numbers up there compared to everyone, he's still high up there in his numbers. To me, number 2 is Allen, because not only had the boy, when he put on an MVP type performance against Wilson, but he's already had a 400-yard game before that, a 350 game before that. What was it, 450 that he did against Wilson? It was something crazy. I can't remember. 436?
415.
415, okay. So he's my number 2. And then the number 3 is, whenever you win the MVP, before they try to find a way that they're not to keep giving it to you, and plus you won the Super Bowl MVP, is Mahomes. Mahomes he's that horse in that race that's just laying in the cut, and then when they get on the straightaway, he just might pass everybody. And then, you know, I don't think Kyler Murray is there yet. You know, I think I don't think this is the year for him. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't think about Kyler Murray, but to me, Wilson, Allen, Mahomes is my top 3 right now.
Wilson is going. I looked at the stats, and Antoine brought up the numbers, but Wilson is on pace to have 50 touchdowns. The
Right.
man is
So,
killing. He got 28 right now to Brady's 20. And Brady got 7 interceptions, and Wilson only has 8. So numbers wise, Wilson is destroying Brady. He's beating him by almost 300 yards passing. And you go look at who Tampa Bay beat. They only beat 2 teams with a winning record. You know, they beat the Raiders and the Packers. Outside of that, they lost to all the other winning teams with winning
No.
records.
They beat the Rams too.
They beat the Rams.
They beat the-
Rams. Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I forgot the Rams.
They
Okay.
beat the Rams,
So-
but that's it.
So that's the reason why I can't put Brady above Wilson. Wilson's on pace to have 50 touchdowns. Stat wise, you want to talk about the interceptions. He only got 1 more interception over Brady. So, and that's for the whole season. But he's killing them by 8 touchdowns. So the
And-
touchdown interception ratio is in Wilson's favor and yardage. And that's like you said, they want to force Wilson to throw the ball. They won in their division. So, I mean, it's working to me. So I still got Wilson number 1. Like Deron said, Allen is in the mix, Murray's in the mix. You can't never forget about Patrick Mahomes
Right,
and
right.
Aaron Rodgers in the mix.
That's what MVP is about. Now, Aaron Rodgers may come out of the mix from this statement I'm about to make, but MVP is most valuable player. I'm sorry, but Brady is not the most valuable player on the Bucs. His defense is, and the fact he actually got a running game. I mean, your boy Jones puts up almost 200 yards rushing today. You know what I'm saying? Brady is just not it for me. He's not even in the question. He's not the most valuable player on this team. He's just not.
I do agree.
Yeah,
Go
Wilson.
ahead.
The fact that Wilson does not have a defense and is putting up the numbers he's putting up and carried that team for the first 5 wins that they got. Yeah, they lost these last 3. That's just because, you know, the defense has not gotten any better at all, and people are starting to figure out ways to contain Wilson a little bit more and kind of shut down his wide receivers a little bit. You know, they put a little bit more pressure on him and forcing him to win. They have no running game to go with it, to complement it. So, you know, you got tape on him, it's starting to show. But they can turn this around and get back to doing what they was doing, then he's back to clear-cut number 1 in my opinion. But right now,
do
Brady
agree.
ain't even.
Yeah, I do agree with Ann on this, that Seattle has to figure out and not grow into a one-trick pony, because people are figuring them out. And he needs to find a way out to shorten his game by running the ball more, running a little bit more of the clock, and don't put so much of a burden on Wilson to do every single thing. But, you know, that's something that the coaches got to do. And I was thinking, another point that he made, I was thinking the Pittsburgh Steelers organization has to win something. They have to. And I don't think Big Ben's numbers is there, but they will be. Mike Tomlin will win Coach of the Year if he keeps it up, and because that team needs to have some kind of, you know, award go their way. I just don't think it's MVP.
Well, I put him up there, Big Ben, because
Top 5, man. Yeah.
that team, I think went 8-8 last year, or something like that. The difference this year is Big Ben. That's the only thing this team has added from last year to this year is Big Ben. So it's no way that you can have a most valuable player vote.
Carpool.
And
That wide,
They might win. He might win rookie. He might, because just off the touchdowns.
Who's that?
Because
Who's that
he
again?
don't have big numbers.
Talking about
He don't
Claypool.
have big. Yeah, he don't have big numbers, but he is scoring at a pace that's real good for a rookie.
Yeah, he got like 10 touchdowns or something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But I
But he
still
had a couple of games he fell off. But, you know, so I'm with Deron. He can do rookie.
Rookie offensive player of the year, you can see him getting that, and coach of the year, because Pittsburgh, Ant's right, they deserve some hardware for what they're doing. They will not be ignored as a squad I think MVP Big Ben might make that top 5 just because they record, but his numbers gonna have to get better.
Well, because if you think about it, what's that boy name? Lamar Jackson didn't have great passing stats last year. Cam Newton won it. He ain't have great passing stats. So I don't think Big Ben has to have great passing stats. But if Pittsburgh, because again, they're gonna have this conversation about what's the difference this year to last year. And if Pittsburgh ends up as the number 1 seed in the AFC, people are going to find it extremely difficult to not give him the MVP award, or at least have him top 2, top 3 in the final tally. But yeah, man, I do believe as far as coach of the year, Dre and bringing in Kyler Murray, right? If Arizona,
they got to win that division first.
That's just what I was going to say. If Arizona can figure out a way to win the NFC West, then you definitely looking at another coach of the year. Candidate. Probably he would probably win it because of how tough that division is, and Kyler Murray would be interjected into the MVP conversation because there's no way that you would be able to keep him out of it. But I don't think that. I think Rustin fell off, man. I think he done fell off, and so there are a number of people that at this point in time right now that I'm putting ahead of him as far as the MVP goes.
Yeah, I think the pack has caught him.
I want to know what's fall off. Boy just threw for 390 last week. You know what I'm saying? What is a fall off if he's still on pace for 50 touchdowns?
Well,
they still got to win. They still got to win, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't just look at the raw numbers.
Right. If he's throwing for 390 and 2 touchdowns, is it him losing the game or is it the defense losing the game? It's like it's a team sport.
How many interceptions did he have in that game while you're looking at the passing stats?
He only had 2. But
so that canceled out the touchdowns.
But Campo,
and you took the edge.
Campo, Brady had games just like that. So did Brady fall off?
Brady had that one game where he had 3 interceptions against New Orleans. Outside of that, he has not thrown an interception since week 4. He had 2 in the first game, then he had 1 a couple weeks later, then he had 1 a couple weeks later, and then he had the 3 last week. So it ain't like Brady's been turning it over 7 interceptions in a 3-week span, and you done lost 3 out of 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hurting a bad defense.
If he threw 7 interceptions, that means the first 4 games he threw a lot. You understand 1 interception difference between Brady and Wilson. But Wilson got 8 more touchdowns than him. So where's the fall off? Is what I'm saying. If that's the case,
I don't think it's fall off.
3 out of 4.
This fall off is what, 3rd, 2nd, like the world may be saying. I mean, he was so far ahead of everybody. 28 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So Brady's 20 touchdowns to 7. That's a big gap already. Fall off.
I say, well, when you say fall off, I say he fell back because he was so far ahead. Because you're right, they were doing the historic numbers and they was trying to put him on pace with the Brady year when he scored 50 with Randy Moss and the Peyton Manning year. You know, he jumped out so far ahead in these last 2 games. Really, he's looked average to bring the pack closer to him. I wouldn't say he fall off. I say he fell back. You know, because you know his like you said, his touchdown interception ratio was crazy. It was crazy, and then until these 3 in one game, 2 in another. You know what I'm saying? That's 5 interceptions right there. So, you know, he ain't fall off because he's still in the race.
So I got one PSA, public service announcement. I am uncanceling Atlanta because Georgia delivered the state to Joe Biden. You know what I'm talking about? So on those grounds, I am
Man, stop it.
uncanceling Atlanta.
Man, stop.
Number love ATL, man. I love you boys out there, man. Y'all doing y'all thing out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't a bunch of bums no more.
Man, stop.
I think I'm gonna ride with Atlanta for the rest of the year. You know,
Man, stop it.
my love for the boys. No matter who they playing, I think I'm riding
Man,
with
stop.
ATL, man.
Let's get these picks.
They might end up with a better record than all three of our teams.
That's crazy.
They might, man. That head coach change seemed to help them a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get on these picks, man. We got Monday night. Y'all already picked this game, right?
Yeah.
Minnesota, Chicago. Okay, so I'm gonna put in my pick. I'm gonna take.
Well, this for this week. We ain't doing next week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because the Vikings play tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, but that's part of this week. We doing next Monday game.
Yeah.
No. He didn't pick his Monday night yet.
Well, since he ain't picked none of, I'm really not gonna throw him in the mix. I am gonna announce him, but I ain't gonna put him in the final tally. I don't even know what they look like.
All right, so we got Arizona at Seattle Thursday night.
Fool. Man.
Now y'all talking about he the MVP. What's the problem?
Well, he going against another MVP candidate with that got a defense.
You just said Kyler Murray was an MVP candidate to us. So, yeah. And then what you see what Kyler Murray did today against Buffalo, which had a better defense than the Seahawks got. That's, man.
I'm picking Arizona. It ain't because I think Kyler Murray is an MVP candidate or nothing like that. I wouldn't put him up there. Like I said, to me, he would have to win the division in order for him to be up there as an MVP candidate. But Seattle just ain't a good football team, and I said this, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm taking Arizona.
So wait, isn't this for the division lead?
Huh?
Actually, I think so. Because they're both 6-3.
All three of those teams is tied at 6-3, I think.
So yeah, that's for the division. So yeah, you said you got.
I'm going with the Cardinals.
You got to win the division, not take a half a game lead, or you know what I'm saying. And then the Rams still got to play, so it ain't even no guarantee that they're gonna be in first place because I think the Rams had already beat Arizona.
I got Seattle on that game, man.
Yeah, I do too. This is if this game right here can put you, when you run track, and whoop whoop whoop, and this right here where Wilson can't get caught, by the group. So I think he gonna be coming at it. You already said Cards.
I did. My brother did.
Yeah, I got some.
I think you said I got Cards too.
I ain't picked yet because I'm weighing the fact that the Cardinals defense ain't like the Saints. They coming off that win. The Seahawks, that's their second loss in a row. Sound like a good bounce back game. But, Cardinals, after what they did today against Buffalo's kind of got me, I don't know yet.
All right, Philly at Cleveland.
Give me Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland too.
I'm going to go with the Eagles, man. That's the upset of the week.
I'm gonna go Cleveland. ATL at New Orleans.
I'm
going to ATL, baby.
What?
He
You
ain't.
know, I'm sitting here saying
He gonna
you know,
switch it. He gonna switch it.
Yeah.
Give me New Orleans.
Go
He
on. ATL, baby.
I got a stipulation. If Breeze not playing,
A's up.
I may have to go with ATL. If Breeze
I
not
like-
playing.
I like that white boy at quarterback. What's his name? That utility quarterback they got.
Taysom
Oh.
Hill.
Yeah,
Taysom
Hill,
something.
And
yeah,
Wilson,
I
I
like
mean, and Wilson, I mean, Winston, he showed something, didn't he?
that too. Yeah, so yeah,
Well,
I got some.
hey, yeah, Winston. I have no faith in that because Andy Dalton showed something when he came in to fill in for Dak and then looked like trash the next week. So, yeah, just come out. You know, right now.
I got you, New Orleans if Breeze play. New Orleans if Breeze play.
New Orleans and Breeze play.
Dre.
I got the Saints.
What's next?
Duran, who you taking?
Oh, I already said New Orleans.
Cincinnati at Washington.
Oh,
Give me Cincinnati, man. Give me
Yeah, I got-
Cincinnati. You say you got Cincinnati?
Yeah,
I'm going Washington. I've been around with Cincinnati too long.
I'm gonna go Washington too. Detroit at Carolina.
Carolina.
Come on, boys. Dang.
no, Christian's still out, so I'm gonna go with Detroit.
Well, I thought I was gonna be the only one. I'm going Detroit too. Tony, you said Carolina?
Yeah.
I might switch that though. I think Bridgewater is feasible enough to lead his team to a win. But
Bruh, they done lost 2 in a row. That's a bounce back week to me too.
yeah,
That's a
what
good
I'm
bounce
thinking.
back game.
He's having a good season. He put up some numbers.
Yeah. Detroit needs a team that makes mistakes. He don't try to make a lot of mistakes.
I'm gonna go Detroit. I think old boy hurt. Bridgewater got hurt. Bridgewater got hurt.
Ooh,
I ain't know that.
he did with that knee.
Yeah.
Who is their backup? Never mind. I switched to the Lions. If Bridgewater not playing, I switched to the Lions.
What's the name from the?
Hold on. Do you want another stipulation? If Bridgewater play, are you still?
Yeah, Bridgewater play. Let me get the stipulation. I'll probably be able to tell y'all something way before the game. I got to see what they say on this MRI. See when he walked back to the locker room.
You an habitual switcher, you know what I'm saying? So I know. I know
I have a right. I have a right.
It's like that boy on Chappelle. You an habitual line stepper.
Yeah.
That's all right. As long as I do it before the game starts.
He's a carrying card member of the Me Too movement.
As long as I do it before the game start. No one hate.
I put us all down for Pittsburgh against Jacksonville.
Anybody upset special?
Hell no.
Not on this one.
Yeah. Tennessee and Baltimore.
I think you didn't sold me on. Well, both of their defense is bad, but because of your commentary and how bad Baltimore's defense has been playing, I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Me too.
I got Ravens.
I think I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Boy, you just hate Tennessee, man.
Man, he hates his division. I've learned.
You cannot find it in your soul to pick Tennessee when they play. I've noticed that you pick against Tennessee every chance you get.
It's just to beat the Colts, man. I picked them to beat the Colts.
I'm telling you, your division, Antoine, and they division, y'all hate y'all division, and I respect that. y'all really hate y'all division. Y'all, you don't like the Cardinals and the Rams. You will not choose with like say something good about them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my bad, man. Go ahead.
I just
I'm
said
telling
they
you.
win coach of the year. They
Yeah, but
quarterback
you-
being the MVP. I just said that.
I know, but you say it to defend something else. You saying because you hate Wilson, but y'all hate y'all division. I respect that. Y'all do.
Do not put
Okay,
that out
I'm
on
just
the airwaves. And I do not hate Russell Wilson, man. Do not put that out of the airwaves like that. I do not hate.
I'm just saying. Y'all do not like
Hey.
y'all division. I respect it.
New England at Houston.
Patriots.
Man, I think they can win this game though.
Yeah, I got Houston, man.
I gotta go with Patriots, man.
They don't got no run game, nothing like that to be worried about.
Y'all ain't got no defense to be worried about.
We don't got no what?
No defense to be worried about. So I mean, and your offense
Here they
ain't
go.
scary either.
Here they go.
Come on, DeRon.
We got one top 7 passing games in the league.
Here
so
they go.
DeRon,
Tell
come
it.
on with your
You still 2-7. I'm just saying. I'm just being real. I ain't pumping up my team either. My team bad too. But
Ron.
you know, let's just be real.
Biden and Trump. That's enough.
For real. So my quarterback doing his job.
Best, man.
You put up enough points.
Where they playing at, man? Where they playing?
Houston.
They playing in Houston.
And the Patriots so up and down. You just don't know what you get with that team.
This first place, bro.
Come on, man. This ain't rocket science on this one. It shouldn't be that difficult, Ken folks.
Man, come on.
Who you got, Ant? Who you got?
Here y'all go.
Pats.
Well, yeah, I knew that.
I said that.
Ain't no way you would choose Houston in this situation.
Of course not. Why? They weren't the worst team. Why would I pick the worst team in this situation?
My bad, fellas, but give me Houston. Give me Houston.
All right, Miami, Denver.
Miami.
Up and coming squad.
The Chargers and the Jets.
Chargers.
They finally.
Jets is sold out. Jets want Lawrence. Or they Justin Fields. Jets ain't trying to give up the number 1 spot.
All right, and we all going the same route. Green Bay at the Colts.
Ooh.
Come on, Dre. Let us see your hate ooze on about you again.
Yeah, that was a good one, man, because Green Bay, you know, they look beatable.
I'm going Colts.
Green Bay does look beatable. You're right.
I'm going Colts.
And I know you're going Colts.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Packers.
Yeah, I already wrote mine down. I'm going to Packers, too.
All right. Dallas at Minnesota.
Going with the boys.
George Russell.
Y'all know I'm going. I'm no different than Dre. I'm
the
going to go with my team.
Me.
Huh?
What?
Put the Vikings in capital letters for me.
Your hate doesn't see.
I should get an extra point because when I say Devin Cook gonna rush for 250, if he rush for 250, I get an extra point.
You're right. I agree. I agree, Dre.
Man, y'all stop it.
Stop the hate,
y'all
man.
acting nuts. No, our defense gonna step up, but it ain't. I don't think my backup quarterback had a magic he had this past week. Even though the Vikings defense ain't nothing to be scared about. So
They talking about Dalton coming back, D.
You taking Vikings?
They talking about Dalton coming back.
I think he worse than Gilbert right now.
All right, Kansas City.
I do
Kansas
agree.
City at Las Vegas.
KC.
That's a rematch.
I know because Vikings. I mean, didn't the Raiders
The Raiders beat them
Braves off
early.
of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs gonna be ready for this one. So they
Yeah,
had a
They
they come out the pool.
didn't beat Kansas City.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe we think about the
I'll
think
pick-
about the Saints.
I'm picking the upset Raiders.
Oh no,
They at home. I'm picking
they
Raiders.
beat Kansas City.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
so.
40-32.
Yeah.
I think it's a repeat. They at home this time too.
Well, the Raiders
Got
gonna
Raiders.
come up. They gonna anybody in that division gonna get them the best, you know. But KC gonna reach
You got
revenge.
I got the
KC.
Chiefs. I think the Chiefs gonna bounce back and get their revenge.
You got KC too, Ant?
I think I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
What? I already wrote you down and everything.
And then we got the Rams at Tampa Bay.
I'm going Rams.
I want to.
Brady can't function if he got pressure. Rams defense could get pressure. I got Rams.
Who you got, Deron?
Where's
I
it
thought I
at? Where
heard-
they playing?
In Tampa Bay. Dre?
Man, that's a good one. I actually think Tampa Bay gonna bounce back. Well, not bounce back. They won this week, huh? Shoot.
I know that's what's bothering me because Tampa Bay won. I think they're gonna have a bad game. They so wishy-washy.
And it's Monday night. So you know the Rams are gonna be ready to play. Prime time, Monday night, all the hype.
Man, I'm just gonna flip the coin on this one, man. I'm just gonna say Bucks just because of the letter B. Because of Bitterfield Bucks, you know, that's how I'm just guessing, man. I'm just picking one. That's a picking game.
All right, this might get y'all to switch it because Goff cannot handle the defense. Is the reason why they can't score enough, and that's why Tampa Bay wins.
Brady throw 2 more interceptions. And they lose, and he run off the field as a sore loser and don't shake nobody's hand.
I'm gonna go.
But the Rams coaching, the offensive
I'm gonna go
play call is going. Yes, the Rams coaching is what keeps them in the game because they can run stuff on offense to mess your defense up, but they're not gonna get over the fact that Goff is gonna give it up for them.
All right, bro. Arizona, Seattle.
Oh yeah.
What was it?
And this is for Tony, the one he didn't pick.
Man, my mind is telling me to go with the Cardinals like I should have today. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals. But I reserve my Me Too right.
Oh, here we go.
Before the game starts.
He's an habitual line stepper. Drugs is a bad thing. That's not what they said. On that thing. No, cocaine is a terrible drug. That's not what he said.
All right, man. Well, then that's gonna do it for the picks for this coming week. Appreciate y'all coming through. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, drop a comment at the bottom. We're gonna be back and holler at y'all next week. Tell your friends about me.